The Crypto Markets Update is brought to you by KuCoin, the best place to find the next crypto gem.
It's fairly soft across the board, but joining us now to discuss the crypto markets is Michael Safai. He is managing partner at quantitative trading firm Dexterity Capital. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks so much for having me back.
Thank you for coming back. So this has been kind of a flatlining market over the past few days. What's that about? I mean, there's so much going on in the world right now. We have oil prices are still fairly high. We have inflation coming up. Why are things just not that exciting in the crypto markets?
Yeah, you're right. Things have been a bit quiet lately, and there's a lot of good reasons for it. There's a lot of macro events that are happening right now. We really saw volumes drop off starting on Saturday, and this seems to line pretty well with the Shenzhen lockdown. As we all know, Asian traders drive a lot of crypto market activity. So we expect that a lot of people are kind of saying, well, maybe we should take a wait and see approach, see how things shake out with all these major events happening globally.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, this is if we were to look at volumes and prices in Bitcoin, for instance, over the past year, it seems to correlate not with Federal Reserve moves so much as it's connected to the Chinese government's actions in crypto. Do you think going forward we're going to continue to see that? Do you think it still remains an Asia play?
Well, I think, as you said at the top of the hour, the Fed markets rate isn't something that crypto really responds to because they usually price it in at the beginning. We've known this hike was coming for a long time now. And crypto traders are smart. They get it. We had a meeting not so long ago. And again, nothing really happened. There was a slight dip and a quick recovery, and that was about it, which is great for volatility traders. But for the rest of us, didn't matter too much. I don't think it's just an Asian play, as it were. I mean, we've seen all these other macro events happen throughout Europe and with the oil markets, and that has had an impact. But I think the Shenzhen one was just a bit closer to home than usual, maybe.
Michael, the Federal Reserve is meeting today. They're going to make an announcement tomorrow on a possible or likely rate hike. I wonder, what will you be watching for?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a lot of changes in the crypto markets then. As I said last time, there was a bit of a dip, but it came right back. And if you trade volatility, you're going to do well. But for most of us, it'll probably be a blip.
And the outlook...
I was just going to ask...
Okay.
We're in a bit of a delay, so of course we have sometimes we trip here. What about the alts? I mean, we have of course, it's not just Bitcoin, it's not just ETH. We have plenty of alts that are in play, and those seem to suffer the same fate, at least for the time being, with low volumes. Do you think that changes as well?
Well, one thing we have seen on the OTC desks is a lot of the big traders have been kind of pivoting away from alts this week and back into the majors like Bitcoin. And I don't think this means that, alts are in trouble. It just means people are in this wait and see, kind of play it safe mentality. That being said, one I'll call out is Luna, which has really outperformed. And I think that's specific to what they're doing. They're getting a lot of adoption of their stablecoin, and they just have a great yield product on Anchor Earn.
Is it, to that point about Anchor, I mean, is it sustainable? We've seen some influx of capital to kind of keep things afloat, but do you think that over the long term, having Anchor provide 20% guaranteed returns, do you think that that's something that can stay on, or do you think that there is a potential problem down the road for Terra Luna?
Well, I think for most of these layer one protocols, their game plan is to get adoption of users and of the best developers. And that's what Luna's really investing in a lot right now, is getting that really good core nucleus of developers and a wide user base. So I think, are those returns going to last forever on Anchor? Not for me to say. But as long as Luna does a good job and continues to create adoption of their products, I think they have a good outlook long term.
Michael, just taking a look at Bitcoin again, what's your short-term price outlook?
Well, the indicators we're looking at, one thing we see, liquidations really haven't spiked this past week. And again, that kind of goes with the narratives that maybe the whales are just kind of waiting and see and taking it easy. When we look at the funding rates on perpetual swaps, they are slightly bearish, but nothing dramatic. And one thing we have seen again on the OTC desks is that a number of traders are taking derivatives positions to hedge against downward action through April. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to see a serious price change, but it does mean there's a lot of bearish sentiment out there, at least for the next month or two.